What is up, everybody? It's your boy Phil Shocker, the 96 Hedgehog here with our Saga Week 1 team builder here. If you guys don't know, we did a draft analysis of the Saga Draft League. This is basically their off season where, again, there's generation picks here. You get 2 Gen 1, 2 Gen 3s, 2 Gen 5s, and the rest you only get one Pokemon from every other generation after that. So, this is a pretty exciting season. It's only 6 weeks long, even though there's an 8-week schedule thing. But it is what it is. So it's only 6 weeks long. So basically, if you get 4 wins, you clinch playoffs. You get 3-3, you can still make playoffs, but 4 losses guaranteed knockout. Just so clarification states. So we're going against Jimmy, and believe it or not, we're facing Jimmy the same week we have to play our VBL game. So very interesting to say the least. But let's go ahead and get into this week 1 team builder here. We actually are facing, like I said, Jimmy again. So we'll be facing Jimmy both VBL and Saga for week 1. If you guys are excited, leave a like. If you haven't already, subscribe if you're new. Join the Phil Shocker crew today because you'll be filled with the king of the crew. And let's just go ahead and get into this team builder. So we're facing Jimmy, and let's go over his team. From Generation 1, he has gotten himself Slowbro and Gengar. From Gen 2, he grabbed Porygon 2. Ironic enough. I think not. From Gen 3, he grabbed Latias and Metagross. From Gen 4, he grabbed Shaman. From Gen 5, he picked up Crocodile and Darmanitan. From Gen 6, picked up Helios. From Gen 7, picked up Alolan Ninetales. And from Gen 8, picked up Zapdos, Galarian Zapdos. So, looking at his team, he's got a lot of repeated typings. He's got 3 Psychic types. Well, I guess this is only really repetitive typing, but he's got 3 Psychic types, so he's got to be very, very careful how he builds his teams, in my opinion. I feel like really stacking up on like 1 or more typings, I always feel is a big risk. I should know. I've done that before as well, and I kind of have done that with my draft today with having 2 dragons. But these 2 dragons do 2 completely things. One that breaks physically, one that breaks specially. So there's that. So let's go over his team. I don't think Helios really comes. Helios is not really that strong in this matchup, especially with the fact that I can use Zero Aura's signature move to make its Hyper Voice's normal type attacks for doing 2 reasons. 1, to stop it from doing that, and from 2, using more so a weaker move to hit Zera, or a move that's very much irrelevant to hit Zera now. Latias, I don't think is that good versus me, especially if I get a Dragon Dance up with certain Pokemon on my team. Like, yeah, it could be Choice Scarf, but I feel like that really weakens and destroys the hindrance that is Latias. And if you also look at his team, Latias is his only legit way to remove hazards. So it's going to be definitely something he's got to be very careful and very mindful about. Gengar is something I can see him bring versus me, but it's something I also kind of just can't see him bring. As again, it's forced to be more likely it's Choice Scarf Gengar than he Specs Gengar, because Specs Gengar is a little more threatening versus my team. But I don't know. Gengar is so. Excuse me, oh my god. As you guys can see, it's 5 in the morning, basically. Well, not 5 in the morning, but it's 5 something in the morning for me. And I just finished building this team. I've been up since roughly 3 a.m. So, but but Gengar, if it does come, I'm leaning more towards Scarf because if I'm weakened and I don't get a Dragon Dance up with Zygarde or Cure or something like that, then it can still outspeed, go for a Dazzling Gleam or Shadow Ball, depending on the way my HP is looking, and then go for the KO from that point. But the good news is it is forced to run Timid, I believe, in this matchup versus having to run Modest because, again, Dazzling Gleam hits things like Zarude, which is very important. So, again, if he doesn't have that speed tier for that, Zarude can be a bit of more of a nuisance and a problem versus his team. Definitely think Slowbro is a possibility, but with me having things like Registeel, which wall it entirely and just toxic that thing down, Zero Aura, Zarude, Immunity Snorlax, a Freeze Dry Kyurem, and Espeon, which can pretty much wall it. Well, not wall it, but be able to beat it 1v1. I I overall think that it's not good, but it's still a really good mon to stop things like potentially Snorlax or Zygarde from sweeping, try to go for Skull Burns and stuff like that, or just provide momentum support and everything like that. I think Darmanitan is a very strong potential bring on his end too. I think Darm is really, really good offensively versus my team. I have probably not a lot of ways to switch into that thing, but I do have a good couple of good answers to it, and I think I've built a pretty decently good team that can kind of switch around it. But let's go over the main team. The main team I see is definitely Galarian Zapdos. That thing is such a powerhouse of a Pokemon. I do expect Choice Scarf over Choice Band for the reason of, again, Choice Scarf lets it still be faster than +1 Zygarde. It's still faster than maybe a potential Scarf Arcanine or something like that. It's just got that speed gap. I feel like Choice Band would be good. If he had Sticky Webs, I would definitely would assume Choice Band with the Aurora Veil. But since it's just Aurora Belt, I don't think Choice Band really makes that much sense against my team. I think Choice Scarf is more better. Yes, Choice Band hits a lot harder on my team, but I think he needs the Scarf because, again, if certain things can outspeed him, then he's going to be looking to be in a very bad position. I think a lot of Ninetales is really good versus us offensively as well. It outspeeds some of the low speed tiers I have. I do have only a few answers to that thing, being Registeel and basically Snorlax and my Arcanine and arguably Terrakion when it comes to ice switch-ins and stuff like that. But overall, I think just being able to set up Veil and be offensive, I definitely expect Freeze Dry. I do expect probably Moonblast, and the last move it could be honestly either Nasty Plot, Blizzard, potentially Flash Cannon. If it gets Flash Cannon, I don't remember if it does or not. Mirror Coat, like I can expect a couple of moves here from the Mons himself. Porygon 2, I definitely think comes. I think the fact that his team kind of pressures my main fighting type, being Terrakion, with first off a bird that can kick hard, it can live a hit, a Ninetales which can outspeed if it's max speed. If I'm mostly Choice Band, I Choice Scarf. Metagross, which walls any hit. Shaman, which walls any hit. Slowbro, which walls any hit, and a lot of else. Like, I overall think Porygon 2 is really safe to bring, and Porygon 2 is going to be very annoying. I do expect Toxic over Thunder Wave, and I could see something like Ice Beam and then Tri Attack, or maybe not normal stab at all and just run Ice Beam, and then maybe something on the borderlines of something like maybe Thunder Wave in case he wants to do speed shenanigans, but I don't know. It's really up in the air. Like I said, Metagross is another powerhouse Pokemon that I can see him be brought this week. Under Veil, this thing could use really good weakness policy set, which is definitely something I'll have to be very much in line for. But I think I've got some good ideas to get around the weakness policy if we need to in any type of situation. But overall, I think Metagross is a very hard hitting mono, especially with that Bullet Punch. Bullet Punch can be super annoying for my team to deal with offensively as well. But I think overall, weakness policies that might have agility. It might just be agility 3 attacks with like something like Earthquake, Zen Headbutt, and then Meteor Mash, something like that. But overall, I think Metagross is a very annoying mon to deal with this matchup. So hopefully we can get around it. And last but not least, I think Shaman. Shaman honestly is one Pokemon that is probably going to be his main, along with Porygon 2, probably his main defensive mon. I think just Shaman overall is very, very annoying for a team. I definitely expect something like Leech Seed Shaman. I could see potentially like Toxic Leech Seed Shaman as well. I definitely expect Earth Power and Seed Flare on this set. And then again, like I said, I could see either Symphysis or Toxic or Symphysis Leech Seed or Leech Seed Toxic or vice versa. And I think I skipped over the Mon, but I definitely think Crocodile comes. If he doesn't bring Crocodile, my Mons could just set up for free against his team. They legitimately just get to set up for free against his team. So if Crocodile doesn't come, excuse me, he's just letting free setup happen with his entirety of his team, and that basically is going to be a thing he has to be very careful about. Like he can get boost in speed and defense, but if he lets me get the boost in my attack going, then there's going to be a lot of problems for his team to deal with. So let's go ahead and break down the team we are bringing this week. Our first mon up is Z Iron, and by the way, I'm nicknaming these things because that's what it was on the doc. So I'm just going to go with it. We're naming it Z Iron here. But we have Z Iron here, our Registeel here with max HP, 40 defense, 132 SPDF with the 84 in speed with the careful nature. Iron Defense, Body Press, Toxic, Heavy Slam. This set honestly could just win by itself if I get it boosted. Now, why am I more of a specially defensive Registeel versus a physically defensive Registeel since I am running Body Press? Well, looking at his team, there's a couple things I want to take hits from the special side. There's things like Shaman, I want to take hits from the special side. There's things like uh Actually, I guess no. Looking at it, being more physically defensive is actually not that bad. I don't know why I was thinking especially defensive. I guess it was maybe for actually yeah. There's no reason not to. So I'll change that up. I'll run more physical, but still have a decent speed up. But let me talk about the 84 speed. That 84 speed lets me be faster than Porygon 2. Basically, a Porygon 2 has 0 speed invested like it should. I'll actually be faster than that thing. And if it wants to try to Thunder Wave me, if it wants to try attack, go for a status on me, I can get a toxic off on that thing fast, and then I can go ahead and get started setting up my body presses. But basically, if I can start setting up my body presses, there's nothing he really can do. The only Pokemon that can switch in on body press then would probably just be Galarian Zapdos, but and then Latias. But again, that's where Heavy Slam comes into play, where Heavy Slam can hit those two and be able to potentially beat those things, or Heavy Slam into a body press, knock him out, and stuff like that. But again, things like Gengar, and this was also another way I wanted to hit Gengar, because Gengar could have really been a problem if it's brought, and then Registeel had no move to hit Gengar. So that's why Heavy Slam is there too. And plus, it's really good to instant knock out any type of Ninetales, just really good. We are already max HP along the ways just because we just want to be really, really annoying and bulky. Up next, we have Z Avatar here. My Zero Aura with the Expert Belt with Bulk Up, Plasma Fist, Play Rough, and Blaze Kick. We're running this kind of unique set. Well, not unique set, but you know what I mean. Running 132 HP, 180 in attack with the Adamant Nature, 80 in defense, 116 speed. Obviously, with the speed, I am faster than every single thing on his entirety of his team. So if any Scarfers do come out, we will know the Scarfers right away. Bulk Up is really good in this matchup. I really wanted to actually bring Calm Mind to counter the Intimidates he had, but since this is not since this isn't like national like DLC and stuff like that, I couldn't really afford to get. If it was, I would have brought Zero Aura with special 100%, 100%. But with this set, we basically will hit everything and everything for super effective to neutral damage. With Blaze Kick, we hit the Shaman, we hit the Metagross. Most likely, more importantly, it's for Shaman, if anything. And I guess it's also really good to hit the Ninetales. But Play Rough is actually way more important. Play Rough hits both the Crocodile and the Latias. I wanted to run Drain Punch with this set to beat Crocodile 1v1, but on the off chance Latias does come, I want to be able to make sure I can hit Latias for the super effective side. Plus, Play Rough hits just a little bit stronger. The only benefit from Drain Punch was, for one, it would not have missed, and two, it would have been able to give me HP recovery, which would have been really nice. But again, I didn't really want to risk that. And plus, it's another safe move to click on in case Zapdos is in front of me and I can just safely lock into Play Rough. Because I could just bluff that Choice Scarf and Choice Band and everything like that with, having the Expert Belt there. I could have gone Life Orb this matchup, but I felt like Life Orb wasn't really important, especially if I'm going to get intimidated constantly. I mean, it would have been nice, don't get me wrong, but I want to keep my Zero nice and healthy, and I feel like Expert Approach is just a cheaper Life Orb. Up next, we have Z Sky here with the Rocky Helmet, Toxic Play Rough, Will-O-Wisp, Toxic Play Rough, Flare Blitz, and Mornington. I am debating on putting not Mornington, Will-O-Wisp back on this set, but again, things like Metagross, I can just wall. I don't really need to status. The Toxic's really important because it wears down things like Slowbro. If Slowbro does come, it also wears down really annoying mons like excuse me, like just anything, and also in Toxic Center in general is really good. That's where I'm thinking maybe I can get replace that, but Toxic's really good for Porygon. We're running a physically defensive set, as you can see here, with 216 HP, 76 attack, 128 defense, 44 defense, special defense, and 44 speed. With that rock hand, we are running Flash Fire. Now, the main reason I'm running Flash Fire instead of Intimidate is for two reasons. One, Intimidate would have acted Defiant on that Galarian Zapdos, and plus, if he does bring Darmanitan and wants to bring him on, and he's supposed to lock into a Fire type attack, I have a switch in and a resist right here with Arcanine. Arcanine's Intimidate would have been really, really good because it's really good to hit things that I think aren't known for. But again, if we're in a situation where I have like 2 or 3 Mons before Arcanine, and then the Zapdos is in front of me, and I have to literally go into Arcanine because it's the healthiest thing, it would activate the Defiant with the Intimidate, and then I would just straight lose right there and have to just hope either he would not kill me or I would be able to knock him out or put him in range. So did feel like really risking it this week, especially when it's a Galarian Zapdos. Remember, I have one too, so I know how really lethal these things can be on the offensive side. Up next, we have Zero here, with the Chopper Berry with Power Whip, Darkest Layer, Bulk Up, Acrobatics, 40 HP, Max Attack, 216 Speed. With this speed, we are faster than Galarian Zapdos. Other than that, we are not faster than anything else. So Alolan Ninetales is a little bit of a problem, but Alolan Ninetales really does want to switch into my Grass Stab, which can be a bit of a problematic thing for it to really do. It's really good in this matchup for the fence icon. He has 3 Psychic types, and there are a few other mons that can kind of just don't want to take potential hits like Dark moves, Grass moves, and stuff like that. Ooh, if Shaman doesn't have Air Slash, then basically Shaman cannot wall my Zarude. My Zarude can beat it 1v1. And we are running the Chopper Berry for the fact that, again, that Zapdos should never be Choice Banded. Because if it's Choice Banded, even at +1 defense, I'm pretty sure I just drop like a fly. But if it's Choice Scarf with the +1, I take the Chopper Berry, I go for the Acrobatics, and reverse knock it out. And then with also having Acrobatics is another way to really beat the Shaman 1v1. With Power Up and Darkest Layer, I believe my strongest Dark and Grass move. I'm hitting everything really strong and really hard, which is really good in this matchup. And I don't know why this thing does not get knockoff. It has hands, it has really flexible arms, as we can see. Game Freak, why? It's one of those things where Entei should have Earthquake, and things like Grimmsnarl should have knockoff. But nope, Game Freak just wants to do this. But anyways, I think Zarude's really good in this matchup overall. Up next, we have Z Obo, my Snorlax here. Yes, he does have a fighting type, but we have a big, fat, heavy boy here. My boy Obo is going to carry the team. We are running Body Slam, Earthquake, Curse, and Body Press. Now, I am running Immunity, and there is a chance that if there's something like Skull that is spread around, I can get Skull Burn. I do understand that. However, Snorlax's job is to just really kind of chip things down and just be a really annoying defensive tank. Thick Fat would have been really nice here, but more times than not, I already have naturally good Spadef bulk, so I don't kind of really need Thick Fat in this matchup. That would only been really kind of somewhat useful for the Darmanitan if it was Choice Banded. It also would have been good for things maybe like Alolan Ninetales if it's set up with Nasty Plot. But overall, I think Snorlax's purpose is just to be very offensive and just be very defensive at the same time. With Earthquake, it hits things like the Metagross, it hits Gengar for super effective damage. I think it also hits the Darmanitan as well. Body Slam is pretty much free for majority of this matchup, if not if all. And then Body Press is kind of just nice little niche move, so I can 1v1 the Porygon 2, which is really good. We're running 156 in HP, max defense, 100 in Spadef with the Impish nature. So this is again one of my physically defensive mons. Basically, if I get a Curse or 2 up, Zapdos is not even a problem towards me, which is really good. Again, if I can get if I can get at least one Curse before Zapdos comes in and stuff like that, I should be able to live any one hit. If it's Choice Banded, it might come down to a roll, but if it's not Choice Banded, obviously, I can just freely kind of be able to click a Body Slam move right here. Again, if I don't see Gengar, I can freely click Body Slam. If I do see Gengar, I do need to be watchful of what I do, and remember to click Earthquake if I need so be. So, definitely something that's really important to know here. But I think Snorlax can put in a lot of good work. And last but not least, we have Zakuo here, our Zygarde with the Yachi Berry, Adamant Nature with the Aura Break, because that's the ability I have to run with. 112 in HP, max attack, Adamant, 4 defense, 96 Spadef with 44 speed. Just like Registeel, Arcanine. Again, this speed is meant for the Porygon. I was originally going to make this speed faster than Crocodile, because I wasn't really going to care about speed time with Darm. And Crook, I would have been liking to be faster than, because of of the fact, knockoff. But looking back at it, Zygarde can just hit incredibly hard against this team, and I kind of just wanted to roll with that. I would have liked to brought Choice Band this matchup, but I felt like Choice Band, just in certain situations, just wasn't really that good. I guess depending on the grass type would make me want to do that. And since we're going against a Shaman week 1, I think that's way too defensive for my team. So we are running Dragon Dance, 1000 Away, 1000 Arrows, Outrage, Extreme Speed. Basically, after I get a couple of Dragon Dances and my attack's not lowered, 1000 Arrows destroy as much, and then once we get rid of Ninetales, Outrage is pretty much free to just murder everything. Extreme Speed is very, very good, just so we can just get any potential late game chip or early game chip, like something like a Brave Bird, not get the recoil, and Flurry Blitz get the recoil and stuff like that. Overall, I think Zygarde's purpose in this matchup is just to be an annoying offensive monster for my opponents to deal with. But that's going to be it for a week one team builder. So I it went a little longer than expected. Wasn't expecting to really go into that deep. But with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new. Join the Fish Shark crew today because you feel like the king of the crew. But until next time, guys, and see you in week one of the Saga draft. I'm Phil Shark and I'll see you guys later. Peace.